Welcome to the study of English.
In this video we are going to learn Homen Borgohain's short story, Spring in Hell.
It's a story about the lives of several marginalized inhabitants, living in a very poor neighborhood called a basti, slum. It shows how extreme poverty can force good people to do things they never wanted to do, just to stay alive. Let's look at the setting first.
The entire story takes place in a setting called a basti. So what exactly is a basti? Well, the story's commentary defines it as a settlement for people on the very edges of society. Think of it as a place of decay, where basic things like clean water or a decent toilet are a luxury.
And this is where we hit the story's brutal central irony. I mean, we all think of spring as a time for new beginnings, right? Hope, rebirth, but not here. In this world, spring is just another season of suffering. And that's the grim, really compelling tone we're going to be exploring.
So let's start there. We begin our journey into this basti through the eyes of our protagonist, Sankar, who is very, very clearly not from around here. He's a former journalist who's out of a job, so he kind of serves as our guide. He's an outsider looking for a woman he once knew, named Manimala. So the story just throws us right into the deep end. We meet a man named Sankar, clearly a stranger here, walking down a dark lane. And out of nowhere, another man, Himadri, stops him. Sankar's described as a gentleman, which makes Himadri wonder, what could someone like him possibly be doing in this part of town?
Sankar stays the night with Himadri and watches the ugly environment around him.
So, Sankar ends up spending the night in Himadri's little room. And as the morning comes and the basti starts to wake up, he really begins to see the people who call this place home. As they walk, the environment itself practically becomes a character. They get to the basti, and the story describes it as this filth-ridden place with these just overwhelming smells. This isn't just a backdrop, it's a hellscape. Himadri basically gives Sankar a who's who of the neighborhood. It's like a roll call of the marginalized and the desperate. You've got a porter, a laborer, a watchman, the local tough guy. Every single person is defined by their job, or more accurately, by their struggle. It's a real cross-section of a community living right on the edge.
The other key figure Sankar observes is a woman named Julaka. He sees her in the morning light and her sort of composed, quiet sadness. And her backstory just reveals the crushing reality of this place. Her real name was Juleka, an orphan who ran away with a man named Rahim, dreaming of a better life. But the basti, it terrified her. The hope she came with was just snuffed out by hunger and fear. And when Rahim finally abandoned her, while she was left with no other way to survive. Really, her story is the story of the basti. Juleka's situation was more than just bad luck. Her poverty made her a target because it reframes wealth not as comfort, but as a weapon used to just strip away the dignity of anyone who's vulnerable.
Then we meet Baltu, a 14-year-old kid who already has the cynical, tired eyes of an old man. He has never learned to smile from the heart. Think about that. The basti didn't just steal his childhood, it stole his ability to feel simple, real joy. And on the other end of the spectrum, there's Joy. He's called the most handsome person in this basti, and he doesn't work. He just thrives by intimidating everyone. He represents the brutal logic that governs life here. Fear is the local currency.
But all of this brings us back to our central mystery. Why is Sankar, this educated, well-dressed man, actually here? He's not just some tourist passing through this hell.
It turns out he has a deeply personal reason for being in this place. He's on a quest. He's searching for a woman from his past, someone he feels responsible for. So here's the story. Manimala and her family were struggling migrants. Sankar knew them and he cared about them. Then this man, Naranjan, shows up offering what sounded like a lifeline, help to set up a little grocery shop. Manimala trusted him and left, only to walk right into a trap. She was betrayed, and Sankar's desperate search for her has now, finally, led him here.
And so, Sankar finally finds Manimala living in the basti, but the reunion is not at all what he expected.
So when he finally meets her, he is just broken with shame, for what she tells him is the absolute core of the entire story.
She tells Sankar, poverty is the greatest sin. Not the things people do because they're poor, but poverty itself. Her logic? You have to stay alive first. Everything else, integrity, beauty, doing the right thing, all of that comes after.
For the people living on these absolute margins, the primary goal is simply to stay alive. She lays out the cold, hard math of her existence. She asks him to imagine the offer. Take these 20 rupees. Just sleep with me for half an hour. And that 20 rupees, it's not just money. It's a huge sack of rice. It's survival for more than 20 days. For her, it's not a moral question. It's a practical one.
This incredibly powerful confrontation is what helps us understand the profound, tragic irony of the story's title. I mean, what could spring possibly mean in a place like this?
The commentary on the story makes it clear that the basti isn't just a slum. It's a state of being. It's a zone of systemic neglect where people are just used to the decay, and they have no choice but to spend their entire lives struggling just to make it to the next day.
And this illustrates the central conflict perfectly. You see, the story is set during springtime, a season we associate with hope, beauty, new life. But in this hell, there is no renewal. There's only the repetitive nature of life's deadened state. The sun comes up, sure, but it's just the start of another identical day of suffering. Ultimately, the story leaves us with this one huge, haunting question. When survival is the only real option, when things like morality become a luxury you simply can't afford, what is left of our humanity?